Okay, so one of the things we are going to do in the workshop altogether, that just to recall, so we have a set of presentations today, and we were holding yesterday a workshop. One part was devoted to teachers and scientific coordinators who want to use Closer Lab for the clarification in, for example, Congress or a course. And also in the late afternoon, we held it for students or scientists who want to participate also in a clarification activity. We're going to carry out one clarification activity of those, but I will give you the instructions. So after the first lecture about how it is, but briefly put it in a nutshell. I want to recall what we have been doing. So Closer Lab. So this is the Closer Lab workshop. We have been held in the Closer Lab workshop for several years already, and this time span correspond to the time in which we have developed several projects in which we inherit some encyclopedic endeavors. These encyclopedic endeavors come from practically from the 70s, when some scientific community in system science observed that there was a scattering effect in the usage of terminology and vocabulary. So the different ways of approaching to system was relatively diverse, and that was kind of disappointing, because the very purpose of system science was kind of trying to find a common ground for all the sciences to avoid the problems due to the divides among the disciplines. So they didn't want to have those divides, but nevertheless, it has happened that several divides has emerged, sometimes unconsciously, because the vocabulary that they were using was the same, but actually the understandings of those vocabularies were different. And Clear, Berta Lampi, they were discussing particularly about that in a congress that was in 1972, and Charles François took the endeavor to make it clear, so what is understood, and that was a long-term enterprise that has like two important objects of production, so to say. One was the diccionario, so in Spanish, of terms in system science and cybernetics. The other was Encyclopedia, whose last edition was in 2004. The other was Principia Cibernética, like similar to Principia Mathematica. They wanted to put the grounds of system science all together, so from the basic principles, and that was carried out by a group of people from Palo Alto and the Free University of Brussels. Me, together with some of the colleagues that are here together today, we have been also coordinating, developing the clarification, interdisciplinary clarification in the understanding of information theories. Information theory was always close to system science. So many of the participants, for example, Norbert Wiener, wanted also to define information kind of in a different way as Shannon was doing. Actually, Shannon was more successful, and in several respects, so the approach, the definition, was probably better for some issues. So as you know, Shannon wanted to deal with technical matters and not so much on the semantic and pragmatical side of information. So information was lacking a kind of a common ground for all those perspectives, and because of that, the understanding of information was quite more difficult than in science, in system science, because system science, since the beginning, so intended the overarching understanding of systems, even though in some fields like cybernetics often start to be something quite technical. So we inherit that, and the Closer Lab endeavor was developed in several projects, and those projects ran so from 2019 to 2023. Then applied to education, we had one in 2019, another 2021, 2022. We have now a larger project that goes from now until 27, and we have another one that runs in the same time. And the purpose is making a semantic annotation. So one of the things that we're going to do and carry out here in the activity, so as an activity, is clarifying some concepts. So I will put a list, and I will give you the link of the place, and will very quickly show you how it works. But the point is, we will make a clarification. In the end, it will be a part of one collection. So I'm going to skip this because this is what I was explaining yesterday. But I want to stop a little bit here, also to show that one of the efforts that we have been carrying out in the last months sometimes was a marathonian effort, wasn't it? So we have here one of the wizards that enabled that much of the work were done. What our objective was to have so the encyclopedic projects that I showed you before, like the Glossarium Vitri, the encyclopedia. So the encyclopedia alone contains like about 4,000 articles, and one of our purposes having semantic annotation. And the semantic annotation for us is important because we use that for two reasons. One, for the organization of the system altogether. So we have independent collections, and every collection requires so reviews, curation, and so on, and they have different quality criteria. And there are different also links to the knowledge domain that they cover, and so on and so on. So for all that, the semantic annotation helps in their organization, in the administration of the system. And only the encyclopedia was 4,000. The Glossarium Vitri is small in comparison. The Principia Cybernetica is something that we still have ahead. But making that all these were automatically be poured into the platform, it wasn't that easy, because there were many problems to be solved in the way. Even though we had so in our previous project, we did it interoperable, the encyclopedic contents, but they were not semantically annotated as we needed. And in only a few months, we have the full Glossarium Vitri is there. So later, Daniel will show us so how they will explain how the system and the process has been, and how the system works. But the idea, and what I want to show you, is that we have like different collections within GlossaLab. Each of these collections are autonomous. So it's a federated system of interdisciplinary glossaries. Every interdisciplinary glossary is a collection that counts with all the necessary components of a indexed collection of scientific work. So like a journal, similar to a journal. But they are interdisciplinary glossaries. What does it mean? Is what was always okay. I'm not sharing, sorry, with the, it's not being shared with the audience. So is it with this? Where was it? But it was there, right? No? Now is it? Okay. Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience, because I was then talking too much without seeing and without seeing what I'm referring. Okay. So all these collections are autonomous, and they are arranged in a different in a dimension of generality. So we have some collections that are of more concrete, and we have others that are more general. So like in between, we have the more interdisciplinary collections like Glossarium Vitris, and our purpose is the development of this encyclopedia of the transdisciplinary encyclopedia, which is on the top, taking the whatever can be considered as mostly general. But on the lower level, so we have the proposals of new understandings of new new contents. Indeed, this is in the level in which the clarification it runs in the beginning. So what we will do here as a clarification activity that I will give you instructions later, it will be held in one of the collection, which is glossalab.sci. We have glossalab edu, and this were glossalab c. This is about the semantic annotation that we are doing in order to make all this interoperable. So one of the things we need is to have the connections to the knowledge domain. So I will talk about the details later in my presentation, so I can skip that. But one of our purpose is not only making the clarification, which of course is one of the most important thing for us, so which moves in the terrain of the theoretical, at the theoretical level, but at the meta-theoretical level, we also want to understand what happened in the knowledge system. So for us, the clarification is kind of a proxy of the knowledge system in which different background knowledge is coming together, and then we want to investigate what are the problems arising. Because with all the semantic annotation we are doing, we can create knowledge maps, and they are knowledge map instead of, so to say, syntactic maps. Because we look and we use the senses that are being provided by the authors. So this is a representation of what is in the minds of the authors, gathering the verbal relations, the adverbial prepositional relations that exist between the different concepts. This is something that we annotate, and we use it then to explore and to find like new categorization, and that's something we will discuss later. So I can leave it here because I will. Sorry, how do I stop this? I see so many. I want to come here. Okay. So to let the time for the speaker, so to go, Jorge Morato is going to hold the first presentation towards semantic clarity, tools for intra and interdisciplinary communication. I also want to greet, because of the inconveniences of all the technical problems, I forgot to greet that we have also people who is connected from Madrid, so they are physically meet in Madrid. So we have Hector is there in our university in Madrid, in Udima, CEF. So hello, Hector. Okay, nice to see you at the distance. So then, Jorge,